So, technology has to become integral part of every business function, right? In manufacturing, you're going to think about materials, right? And if you're in marketing, you're going to think about how to leverage marketing technology to drive awareness and so on, right? If you're in supply chain, you're going to look at how can we optimize, right? How can we optimize inventory so that we don't carry too much inventory or too less inventory, right, at the right places. Right? A supply chain is a network, right? So, you're basically you have to manage the entire network in such a way that you have a very optimal number of inventory everywhere. Otherwise, your supply chain is not that efficient, right? So, every business function now is applying technology in order to further their business goals. So, same thing with human resources. Human resources is also not immune to technology, if you will, right? Technology is also enabling human resources to find, hire and keep talented people in the company, right? It's no longer just paper pushing, right? It's very real time information about what kind of candidate is available, what kind of projects are we doing now. The nature of projects that goes on within the company is also changing very fast because of digital technologies and the pace of business, right? The pace of business is very fast, right? So, in order to respond to market opportunities, you need to have the talent to execute, right? In order to have that, and then once you find the talent, you need to have the digital processes in order to execute fast and respond back in real time, right? As soon as it happens, as soon as it is possible for you to respond, right? So, technology is a key enabler of competitive advantage. I do not think I have to speak much on this, because every aspect of what I have been talking about is basically telling you that, right. It's technology is a key enabler of competitive advantage, continuous competitive advantage. Technology today is information technology in particular, right. That is how every company calls it as IT, right, the department as IT. IT used to be a part of every company. IT has been around for many years, right. We always have had software of some kind, hardware, mainframes of some kind in the early 60s, right, post-industrial, post-war, post-World War II, that is when the Industrial Revolution started. So, we have had IT for a long time, but the IT for a long time had been just a business function in the corner of the building, so to speak, right. So, they were just a cost center. They were called upon to actually install something, or if there are some issues with something, call them up, email and so on, right. But that has changed. So, and it's still evolving. The role of IT is extremely important now than ever before. It has to be an integral part of every business, right. That is what I say in my second bullet there. Integral part of every business function is IT, right. Whether you are in marketing, supply chain, business analytics, business intelligence group, whatever, right. So, infrastructure, that is the other dimension, that is very important. Obviously, technology and infrastructure are tied together, influence each other, and hence this is the two-dimensional element, right, that is critical. So, we now know that technology is the lifeblood of every enterprise, right. Without blood, you cannot survive. Same thing with every company. Without technology, you will not be able to survive. Right. Infrastructure is the ability to execute digital era workloads, right. So, infrastructure is all about executing, right, executing that business process that you just automated with that application, right. It has to, when a customer logs in to your website or to your mobile app, if they do not receive a response for whatever request that they initiate, right, on the app within 3 seconds or less, right, you are not going to be able to hold the customer, right. Imagine a ride request on one of your ride service. You click on it and it comes back after 3 minutes or 1 minute, and it is taking a long time. You are going to flip and say, okay, I need to go to a competitor, right. You are just a click away. That is the effect of consumerization, right. So, your infrastructure is very important to execute your digital workloads, if you will. And your digital workloads is nothing but your digital business processes that are running in the applications that you have deployed in the infrastructure, right? So real-time execution is obviously a very important capability. Every company has to become a real-time enterprise of some kind. When you talk about real-time, it is always a relative term, right? What is real time to one may not be real time to the other, right? So in general, what I'm talking about is being able to make decisions based on information or insights that comes to you down to the second. You can make decisions based on what you just saw, right? So that's really where we are today, and an infrastructure has to be able to handle the real time execution, right? So these hundreds of apps, we no longer will have monolithic apps like we used to, just 4 or 5 enterprise applications that is running the entire enterprise, right? That's no longer going to exist. We're going to have what is called as the enterprise app store come up, right, very soon. Every company, Procter & Gamble, Unilever, whoever, right, even small companies may have enterprise apps, right? These enterprise apps allow them to basically look at insights, right, on how their business is performing in real time, and then be able to respond. And these apps can be built on the fly and can be retired on the fly, right? That's the model that every company is now moving into. So for such a dynamic enterprise, a real-time enterprise, you need an infrastructure like this, right? You need a digital platform, you need real-time execution, right? And you also are looking at infrastructure as a service. It's no longer, oh, where is my $100 million campaign running? That answer is not possible today accurately, right? You cannot accurately respond where exactly it's running, right? So, but in today's conditions, in today's technology with cloud computing, virtualization, and so on, and virtual machine, you may hear about these terms later in more when we talk about these technology terms later, right? In the other course, digital marketing technology and infrastructure, I'm going to talk more about that. Okay, so infrastructure as a service is now the new approach. I want to be able to know where my $100 million campaign workloads are running, right? We can even redirect this $100 million campaign, which is so important for every company. If you're spending $100 million on a campaign, obviously it's something very, very important, right? So it may be a new product launch, for example, right? And you want to gauge how this new product launch is going every hour. You want an update, right? It's only possible if you have a real-time execution capability and a digital platform, right? So infrastructure now is more like a service. We want to be able to actually package this campaign into its own infrastructure, mini infrastructure, right? Micro infrastructure, if you want to call it that, right? So that's where we are going. So you have very critical workloads. Remember what I told you. Workloads are basically execution of your business processes, essentially, right? That's a workload, right? That is being basically your business process is mapped into an application, and your application is what carrying that workload, executing on an infrastructure, right? So so these apps and this, so in the digital world, because of real time, because of the digital platform capabilities, you are able to actually package the infrastructure as a service, and then be able to track down to the very finite detail on how much computing resource you are using, how much storage is this $100 million campaign is using, how much of network bandwidth it's using, right? So you can actually meter it, right? And that's because of cloud computing technologies and so on, right? The cloud infrastructure allows us to now meter every workload down to the penny if we want to, right? And that's where we are with technology and infrastructure. That's the fourth two-dimensional element,